What's up, everybody? Hi. Hey, my name is Michael Fragoso, and I'm with my BFF of all time. Be it one of the... I don't want to make my other BFFs mad.
It's okay. They'll forgive you.
James Bernard, what's up?
How's it going? Well done this morning on the keynote.
Really?
Lots of energy. I feel like you've come down a little bit now and you're
flagging
slightly.
I still have my... Hey, dudes! I still have a lot of that in there. But...
I'll try not to put you to sleep with this. We'll see how we go.
So, James, you're the greatest storyteller that I know.
Stop it.
I'm not kidding.
Stop it.
I'm not kidding. I mean, what you can do in like a matter of, wow, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 20? Mm-hmm. It's just, yeah, I don't know anyone who does it better.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking you're going to show us how to do some of that cool stuff.
I am. Well, that's the nature of TikTok, having to get your content underneath 1 minute, or at least it used to be anyway. It was kind of like the limiting factor of like how to showcase things like software tips and tricks, how to be a better freelancer, how to be a better designer.
Yeah.
1 minute was like the cutoff point. So trying to get that point across quickly is quite hard. So I'm going to try and show you how I do that today. And also as like social media, like content creators or freelancers, we need to do social media to kind of further our business. And this is how I do it anyway, social media. And it, can be quite a time-consuming process, quite daunting for a lot of people. Going faster in something like Premiere Pro, it makes all the difference when it comes to putting out regular social media content. So fingers crossed, let me show you how we're going to do this today.
Yeah.
Now, I have pre-prepared, like here's one I made earlier.
Okay.
I've got an exclusive reel from my account here. You're very lucky. This is the reel that we're going to produce today. It's 37 seconds, so try not to fall asleep while we
No. Check this out.
Stay with me.
Okay.
We're going to watch this through, and then we're going to go about how we're going to edit this together.
Okay.
Here we go.
Designers, if you want to extend a path that's at an angle in Adobe Illustrator, you can just use the direct selection tool, and as long as you have smart guides turned on, this little line extension label appears on your path, so you know that the angle of the path is staying the same. But the second you try to do this with multiple path points, well, sucks to be you. Here's a quick fix. Extend your first path to where you want it, and direct select the second path, press Ctrl or Command D. Yes! This is the Transform Again tool, and you've probably used it before to duplicate objects, so now you know it works with paths too. Thanks to Dansky for this tip, which I did not know until I watched his YouTube video, so definitely go and check that out and give him a follow.
All right. Now you're an Illustrator guy, did you know that tip?
No!
Command D, Transform Again.
I did not know.
I didn't either. Dansky, the man, showed me how to do that.
Dansky,
Totally ripped him off, but I credited him at the end of the video, so I'm sure he's fine with that. So this is how we're going to go about putting this together.
Before we put that together, can you tell me about your faces that you make?
Oh, okay. There's one big one. It's just, I don't know why I do that. If you can see on the front of my laptop there, that's my emoji representation.
Am I doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to derail.
That's okay. That's good. All right, so when I make a video, I am so terrible on camera. I and I stutter my way through my sentences. So I like to write a script. Yeah, I write a script, get it nice and succinct. That way I can just read to the camera and then say one line at a time. If I forget something or I mess it up, I can just start again and go back to that line. And then this is what my footage looks like once that's been done. Okay, so, just try not to rename the layer here. Drag this on, lots and lots of breaks in the clip, lots of waveform breaks there. So immediately, the first thing I noticed is that as I drag this onto screen, I've filmed in 4K. That's now way too big for my screen, so I have to now click onto this and set the frame size to 50%. That's a pain in the butt. We don't want to be doing that. I'm going to delete this out, go up to Premiere Pro settings, we're going to go to media, and we're going to set our default media scaling to set to frame size, press OK. Now when I drag on footage to my clip, keep renaming this layer, this is going to be a pain, isn't it? Here we go. Immediately resize to scale. So that's saved an issue that I have to do every single time in Photoshop. We're already working faster. That's tip number one. Let's go. Okay, so in the new version of Premiere Pro, the Premiere Pro Beta, and I believe the beta features are being released in the new version very soon, if not today, at some point. There's this new feature, well, this isn't a new feature for Premiere Pro Beta, but immediately this clip has been transcribed in the transcript panel over here. Okay, so everything I've said, AI has used it's done its job and turned everything that I've said in my clip into a transcript for me to work with. And I can use this to navigate along the timeline. So if I select on different sections here, you notice the playhead is scrubbing along. I'm going to press backslash on my keyboard to put that timeline in one window. And I can use the text editor here to delete sections out. So I said designers twice at the start there. I can type away. There's a pause break in here. I can click on that, press backspace. That's now removed from the timeline. It's a fantastic way of navigating through the timeline and editing as you go along, and recognizes the space where you've made mistakes. You can just delete out entire sections. We can also delete by filter. So if I've said the word and I'm stuttering my way through my lines, I can come up here and I can select something like filler words, which is like get rid of all of those with one click. All the pauses that are in my clip there, I can select on pauses, press delete, delete all, and just like that.
That's amazing.
Automatically cut together.
Is dude a
That's
filler
fantastic. Dude, maybe, I don't know, maybe you can set a filter for that.
Oh yeah, okay.
I feel like it might be. Okay, so if I zoom into my timeline here, I can use a couple of keyboard shortcuts to sort of trim this footage. So if I want to trim forward to the next playhead, I can press W, and I can go in and press Q to trim back, and that way I'm kind of like tightening things up just a little bit, getting that reel just a little bit shorter, and yeah.
See,
and then,
I've always known you as a designer. I didn't know you have all this video.
I'm a unicorn. I can do all sorts. I can do all
okay.
sorts. All right, so we're editing with text here. It's fantastic, but obviously in social media, it's nice to have captions on our audio, and this transcribe feature automatically does that, of course. So if we click on captions up here, and we can go over on the right-hand side. 1 second. So create captions, and I have a nice little preset here, which is my favorite font, Futura, in yellow. I want to bring this down to 15 characters in length, and then make it a single line. Click on create captions, and automatically that's put on another layer all of my captions inside this reel. I can highlight all of these, and in my essential graphics I can change the style, I can change the position of these on screen, bring it up nice and high.
I always wanted to ask you about this, because I make my captions in Instagram, and it takes me forever to do. So you're doing it okay.
In Premiere Pro. Sometimes, Instagram can be a bit buggy and those captions a bit of a pain to edit on your phone. Using your keyboard's a lot better way to do this, so I can now dive in here, change words when I've said a name and it hasn't spelt it correctly, or my stupid British accent has come out weird in the American type of, spelling the word colour always comes out American. I can change it to British English. That's always great. Okay, so we are editing with our text features in here. We're going to go into a new sequence here and demo a couple of other little features. Okay, so the beautiful thing about this new version of Premiere Pro, the beta version, is that it automatically tags our clips and our audio as such. So you'll notice down at the bottom here, if I click on this, open up my essential sound panel, it's automatically tagged this audio as speech, which means we can now start playing around with it. So this is 2 clips back to back, exactly the same. I'm going to play these for you. Can't really hear it. Okay, so what happened was, while I was recording, I had my headphones on, the Bluetooth connected, it overwrote the microphone that I'm using here, and started using the audio through the Bluetooth headphones, and it sucked, it was potato quality. So now I can, my audio is wrecked. I'm using the audio from the camera, which is a few feet away. It's really quiet, you can't hear anything. The new features in the beta app Premiere Pro has this lovely button under Enhanced Speech.
Here we go.
Enhance.
Nice.
Okay, we're just going to drag this slider up a little bit.
I want to hear this though.
Yeah, you won't be able to hear the first one.
That's the first one.
Thanks to Dansky for this tip, which I did not know.
No way, that's straight up like podcast
Ridiculous.
microphone.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And we can use this slider here to mix the ambient audio of our video clip with this new enhanced speech feature. So if I just drag this down a little bit, maybe that was sounding a little bit robotic, we can mix in the background audio a little bit, and we get a nice...
Thanks to Dansky for this tip, which I did not know.
Beautiful.
Shout out to Dansky.
I know, we're going to talk about him a fair bit today. Okay, now, if I unmute my background audio track here, I'm also just going to clear my in and out so it doesn't repeat. You'll notice that the audio track is way too loud. My audio is completely destroying my vocals. Fantastic thing about this new Essential Sound panel is that it's automatically tagged that as music, and then we can go to the loudness section of our clips here, expand this open, and we can press Auto Match, which brings down the level of our audio, and we can do the same with speech as well. Hopefully now.
Thanks to Dansky for this tip, which I did not know.
So that's automatically ducked the audio, brought my vocals up a little bit. It's kind of hard to hear on the speaker here, but It did.
I heard some. Yeah, I heard some of it. Yeah, okay.
All right, so this is a brilliant feature which basically saves you a load of time about changing levels. It does,
Right.
AI does its best to kind of work out like where those audio levels could be. And obviously you can correct it with these little handles here, dragging up and down. It's easy peasy.
What's the rule? Between 6 and 12?
Don't ask me. I'm not a video editor.
I don't know.
But, you know, I was getting massive imposter syndrome about having to do this today.
No way.
But I've made like something like 380 videos for social, so I'm getting up there with the big dogs now.
It's just refreshing to hear this stuff. I mean, awesome. If you're an amazing, you know, if you've been doing video editing all your life and stuff, that's awesome. But it's nice to just hear this from like a designer's perspective.
That's it, yeah.
And like,
not my strongest suit, but feel like I should be doing social media content to further my business. I kind of need to get my head around this kind of
I
stuff.
honestly think that's where a lot of us, most of us
There you
are.
go.
Probably.
All right, another new feature in the Premiere Pro beta, English accent, is the interactive handles here on the clip. So I just used my keyboard shortcut Z, which is Add Edit. If you go to Premiere Pro keyboard shortcuts, I added my own one in here, which is Z is what it used to be. Add Edit. Every time I press Z on my keyboard here, it makes a cut in my wherever the playhead was. So Z will cut that clip, and I can use that to trim backwards and forwards. You'll see on where the cut is, we've got this weird little box that's just shown up here. If I drag on this tiny little box here and go left, it's adding an auto fade into my audio here. Now, if I'm still holding and pull down and pull up, I can change the curve of that fade.
What is this?
Bring it down.
It's called auto fade. What is this called?
This is the new interactive handles within Premiere Pro. One other brilliant feature, if I just undo that and take the same handle, if I drag the other way and I go right, it will then blend those two clips together. Holding up or down, I can automatically stitch those and use those curves to kind of filter that through. So if you're blending from one clip to another, or your audio is fading, or you've got like a harsh bit of audio that's really loud suddenly going into something else.
Sometimes there's like a little mini pop that goes in between.
And you used to have to add like a crossfade effect or something like that. Drag it on, tweak it, immediately those handles are saving the time already. Really great stuff.
Really quick, everybody, if you have questions for James, feel free to let us know. We'll go into questions probably towards the end.
Sure. Well, yeah. Feel free to ask me.
Put them in now. You know, we'll get to it.
Okay. Another thing I'd like to talk about is this lovely new feature called auto ducking. So sometimes auto ducking. Okay.
Ducking.
You'll see what I mean.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just zoom out of here. Find this clip. We've got a raw piece of footage here with a massive pause in the middle of our of my sort of speech here. I'm just using this as an example.
Not now until I watch this YouTube video.
The music is way too loud, there's a pause in there. So what we can do is we can select this audio clip here, scroll down in our Essential Sound panel, we're going to go to ducking. We're going to turn this on with our checkbox. I'm making sure that this little duck against dialogue tag is done up here. We're just going to leave these at the sort of default settings. We can then scroll down a bit more and click on Generate Keyframes. And that's going to take our audio, whenever I'm talking, it's going to pull the level of the music down. And when I stop talking, it's going to bump it back up again. Now, you might want to play around with the sensitivity settings of this.
Thanks. The downside of this
probably
tip,
a bit
I did not know
too
until
low.
I watched this YouTube video.
Up comes the audio while I'm pausing. Back down when I start to talk again.
Yeah.
Definitely go and check that out.
Comes back down again.
Talking head video style.
Right,
Yes.
so I do this kind of all the time with my videos. At the end of the video, sometimes I might like to show some stills of the work that I've done, and while I've been talking, the background audio has been nice and low. I can use this feature to duck against my dialogue here, which is automatically being assigned. Do the same thing, drag this back, go to ducking, turn it on, duck against our dialogue, check this box, scroll down, generate keyframes, scroll back a little bit.
Please.
And our audio is coming in over those stills that have no dialogue. That audio is nice and good.
That is
Cutting through. Now we can do that, and at the end of this clip, we can then just cut it off with my lovely Z keyboard shortcut, delete that out, and then we can use our interactive handle to fade that music out a little bit at the end, which is a lovely, nice little. Perfect. Or we can use a feature that is in Premiere Pro now, which is called the Remix tool. So if I just press backslash on my keyboard here, select our clip, we can go over to this little bad boy called the Remix tool. If you haven't seen this before, it's under Ripple Edit. Drag this down, hit on Remix, bango, bongo. This music track has a natural ending to it that fades out, and sometimes you might have an audio track that has an ending that the composer's put in. You might want to use that at the end of your clip, but then you're cutting your clip, you're putting the end towards the end of your clip, and you're just trying to stitch it together. The remix tool kind of does all of that hard work for you. So all I now have to do is just select this, drag it back. It will analyze that clip for a second, and you'll notice these little zigzag breaks in there. That's automatically done that job of sort of DJ mix.
Yes.
DJ mix, right? So
and that's how you made the face too. I'm sorry, I gotta call that out.
That's right.
I love it.
So you see these little crisscross zigzag handles here?
Yes.
I'm going to solo this audio track, see if you can hear the difference. Seamless. Absolutely seamless. Okay, you can't hear anything at all. Fantastic. All right, so you saw that clip at the start of the video. That's how I like to work. At the end of the video, I used Dansky's YouTube tutorial, and I gave him a credit. Always
Dansky,
credit your
what's
sources.
up, Dansky?
Yeah. So let's say I'm not going to get his approval, but let's say I wanted to get Dansky's approval for that end of that video. I can then use this new feature inside Premiere Pro Beta, and I'm going to highlight an in and out point of this clip. So actually, to do that, you just go to wherever you want to highlight, press I for out, go to the end of your clip, press I for in, O for out. I can come up to my frame.io tab up here.
Oh, okay.
Frame.io is the place where it's a great resource for getting feedback on your videos.
Right.
This is now built into Premiere Pro, so you can upload your footage directly to Frame.io. So if I just click on upload up here, I'm going to go active sequence, this is the one that we're working on, and I can either upload the whole thing for him to take a look at and generate a link for him to share, or I can choose the in and out section that I just made, which is the only bit that referred to him. Maybe if you just want a certain section of your video signed off by a client, you can do that. Click on upload, and that's going to pull a version, a very low res version of that, so it goes up quickly. I can then generate a share link to that via just a URL, so they can send off for approval. And that's all being handled inside Premiere Pro, no going out to the app and uploading anywhere, automatically tagging it from here. There we go. This is a brand new Mac, I haven't ever turned this on before, so it's trying to do it, but anyway.
Nice.
So that's it. And then
Frame
that
is
way.
pretty cool though, right?
It's awesome. I've used it with a couple of Adobe projects actually, and it works
really,
really,
someone
really well.
that had like a ton of those like physical hard drives everywhere?
Yeah.
That's
a lot
me.
easier than that, isn't it?
So that's why Frame is such a game changer. Anyway.
So that's it, man. Yeah, so we've probably got like a few minutes for Q&A.
We got
if
about
anybody
7 minutes to go, everybody. If you all, feel free to ask any questions you have. I can ask you questions while we're waiting for more questions.
Right. Shoot.
I just love your storytelling. And you must have a lot of inspiration behind all the story. Maybe like, dude, there has to be like movies that you pull from, right?
I mean, honestly, no. No. It's like the main way I focus my social media content is there's a problem in the software. There's a problem in my daily life as a designer. How do I solve that problem in a way that I can explain in a minute? So maybe it's something like a software problem or like something to do with Illustrator. My job is basically to try and figure out what the problem that the most people will have, and then use software or videos to try and solve that problem in a very succinct, tight way. And these quick editing features, it makes it so fast now. Like my process is like, I'm so impatient. Like when I come up with an idea for a video, I have to get it out there like straight away. I can't sit on it for days.
That's the mark of a creative. Well, I'm just absolutely buzzing all the time. I have to get this out. I can't wait to share it. So I will pull an idea from a list that I have. I'll script it and film it. And probably within about 2 or 3 hours, which might be long for some people, but for me that's pretty quick. I've got a video out and I'm ready to post in that afternoon. So about 2 to 3 hours is usually my turnaround time. And I wouldn't be able to do that without these amazing features. Yeah. Dude, okay, I have one question here. Where's your luggage, man?
Did somebody ask that?
Someone asked that about
my luggage
Did
is
they
in
find
Heathrow
your luggage,
somewhere.
James?
I came from Australia, missed my connecting flight. My luggage is in Heathrow somewhere. So I'm sponsored by Superdry today because I went shopping earlier on, and I didn't even have any boxer shorts. So not great.
I got some. If you need some.
Thanks.
I got some.
We're not that close.
Well, all right. So I'll tell you what I struggle with a lot with video is finding the right songs. I noticed that you're always the best. You choose the best soundtracks for your stuff.
There's 2 ways to do that, though. Sorry, go.
Well, really, I always go to, because it's a kind of a trendy thing and it's like a safe thing to do, to go for like lo-fi beats. You know, but I'm starting to feel like people are getting tired of that a little bit and want something like, because you have like high energy music.
Well, there's 2 types of reels. There's ones with dialogue, and don't choose an audio track that's going to clash with any dialogue.
Yeah.
And I used to go for like jazz tracks, like
Yeah.
but a saxophone I found, or a trumpet, really kind of goes over the top of dialogue. So, you know, Paris jazz guitar, that always works really well. But then sometimes you're working with a video and you're posting it to somewhere like Instagram and it doesn't have any dialogue, it's just me acting on camera. I can use a clip from an existing song, and that's where my age comes into play.
Hey.
I mean, I'm pushing 40 this year, my music taste is properly eclectic. When I put something like Phil Collins in there, people love that, so that's always popular.
You're pushing 40 this year? When do you turn 40?
In December, I'm turning 40 this year.
I turned 41 this year.
Wow, you don't look 40. Well, we made it. We made
I got
it.
the salt and pepper. I got the salt and pepper.
Yeah,
You know?
mine's in the beard. There we go.
Man, so so let's talk about Instagram for a second. Like a lot of, Bernard, how do you get, okay, this is a great question from Keys. What's up, Keys?
Keys.
How do you get ideas for your videos? That's actually kind of what I was going to ask you too.
Yeah. So mainly it's just because I'm still working with clients and facing issues in the software all the time. Anytime I find that I have to Google something, like I've just had a fix, I need to try and fix it somehow in Adobe Illustrator, I'll write that on a list. And I've got this list of ideas. I would show it to you, but I'm giving away, you know, some of my
your future
releases.
stuff. Yeah.
But I have a list of content and I'll just like pull from that list. It'll be around like software tips and tricks. It might be around, you know, something to do with design, like a principle of design that I feel like I don't really know enough about and I want to learn about. Like, why do we use CMYK ink in printers versus RGB? Why can't we just use red, green, and blue ink in printers? Those questions I should know the answer to. Sometimes, you know, I don't, and I'll go and look it up. And immediately after I've learned it, to make it stick in my head, I'll teach it to somebody else.
And that
kind of
to them,
hardwires it in my brain.
I think that's something awesome that you do. Is you teach it to them in like language that everybody understands. I think that's a really key thing that you do. That's really, really awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
What I wanted to ask you too, because this is a question I get a lot, and I'm a very low volume Instagram poster, but I see you're like, wow, I wish I was like, I wish I could, I know a lot of the tips that you showed today help speed up your process, but what other tips can you give all of the homies here in London and everybody, like what keeps you going in churning about, I don't know, 3 videos a week?
3 videos a week is like the enough to avoid burnout. Any more than that, it starts to get a bit hard.
Any more than 3? Okay.
Yeah, and I follow this guy, he's an absolute legend. His name is Jamie Brindle. He is a freelance guru. He talks about like the 50% rule. Okay, so 50% of your time should be on your current clients, 50% of your time should be on driving new business. And new business for me is social media. Okay, so every time I'm making a video, I'm teaching designers, and that's fantastic, but I'm also showing to clients like, I'm the expert, maybe. So, you know, I am...
I love it. Oh,
doing this social media content totally sets me as the expert in the industry, which drives more clients. So half of my time is doing this, and 3 videos a week, it's a lot to do. So hopefully these tips that we've talked about today will speed that up for a few people. But yeah, it's a lot of work. It's quite daunting, isn't it, when you have like, especially video content, it's quite time consuming.
Right.
3 a week seems to be the sort of
3 a week is the
sweet spot for me.
Yeah. So, okay, you mentioned, okay, we have about a minute and a half here. This probably might be the last question, unless someone else has one really quick. Oh, have you fixed audio with any AI software? Oh, you showed a few of them right there.
Kinda, yeah. I used to play the drums when I was a music producer, but yeah, AI software in audio is pretty exciting. Some of the stuff coming out on Adobe Audition, that looks absolutely incredible. Yeah, the remix tool for me at the minute.
The remix tool.
Easy way to do it.
Yeah. All right, so what I was going to ask you, because you said, you are a unicorn, man. You do everything so good, video, design. What do you enjoy the most out of all your creative outlets, though? Is it design? Is it video?
It's the logos. The logos for me, hands down.
The
Blank canvas, creating a brand from scratch, from absolutely nothing and just an idea or a few concepts. That is absolutely beautiful to me. There's no more rewarding part of the industry. And that's a big part of it, is like finding a part of the industry that you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Actually leads through a rewarding career. And logo design for me is that. That helps you just keep going and going, That's
right?
it.
Like,
that's right.
All right. Well, dang, James, thanks. We're about there. You know,
You're gonna go have a nap now?
I might. Honestly, I'm just being honest with everybody.
Yeah.
Brought the energy earlier.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get my second and third wind and stuff.
I can feel it.
But thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, James, for coming in.
Good to see you, bud.
Gosh, I'm gonna go again. It's impressive.
Thanks a lot.
Homies.
See ya.